Okay everybody, just to respond to all you people who are rushing to the comments to say how come the name change, just go check out my latest video. I'll leave a link in the description. So 2 weeks ago I made a video titled Why Assassin's Creed 3 Disappointed Me. Now I don't want you all to get the impression that I just completely hate Assassin's Creed 3, although that's pretty true. I wanted to tell you about some things in the game that actually caught me by surprise and things that I loved. So here are 5 great things in Assassin's Creed 3, in no particular order. Dear God. Starting off in no particular order, we have Haytham Kenway. Now Haytham Kenway is perhaps the best anti-hero that we have seen in Assassin's Creed. He's an amazing character from beginning to end of Assassin's Creed 3. His presence in Rogue didn't go amiss either. But in Assassin's Creed 3, Haytham Kenway was an amazing character, very likeable, and all in all quite badass. And how he goes about doing things, in contrast to how Connor does things, and the conflicted ideology was something that with Haytham you get this ruthlessness, but you don't feel as if he's evil because he's simply a Templar. You feel as if he is a very neutral character, neither good nor bad, and you start to get this view of the Assassins and Templars might not be just as simple as right and wrong, and that's where it begins, and that's what Haytham does. He sort of presents that idea that this is more of two sides just as bad as each other going on, which is something that I honestly really like about Assassin's Creed. Haytham was my favourite character in Assassin's Creed 3, and an entire game about him wouldn't have gone amiss either. His very combat style differed to Connor's, especially in swordplay, which is where it was most visible, and that was also something that added depth to the game, because in the missions and sequences that you play as Haytham at the start, your combat with the sword was different to the combat when you play as Connor when you're using the sword. Other than that, it's pretty similar in fairness, although there are certain differences here and there. And all in all, Haytham's story in Assassin's Creed 3 was something that really drove me to play it further, because when Haytham appeared in the later sequences, those were the better Connor sequences in fairness, and Haytham sort of added to the story of Assassin's Creed 3, and I feel as if without him it would have been arguably much worse. Haytham's sarcastic personality made him a really enjoyable character, because you wonder what he's going to say next and how borderline sociopathic or borderline careless he can sound, and how cool that is. Not to mention the contrast with Connor and the comedic effect that Haytham's style of humour sort of has on the overall game in story elements. Therefore, in my opinion, Haytham Kenway is one of the greatest things in Assassin's Creed 3. Next up we have the combat. Not the entire combat, because certain parts of it are tedious, but the double takedowns in particular, whether it be a double counter or shooting somebody and killing somebody else at the same time, or throwing a rope dart at somebody as you kill somebody else, which are things you can do by pressing a combination of buttons or countering when 2 people attack at once. And those moves are super cool. I really do like those. And I mean, they're in Black Flag as well, yes, but they are nowhere near as frequent in Black Flag, and sometimes you have to sit there and block for a good while before they actually occur. Whereas in Assassin's Creed 3 they occur more often, and it's more fluid, and it's also very fun and more realistic for the combat, and people aren't there waiting for you to kill their friends at all times. Although they are for a lot of the time, there are those double counters that give a bit of relief from this disbelief that you sometimes get in Assassin's Creed combat. Next up we have the action sequences as Desmond Miles. Now these action sequences were far from perfect. There could have been more in the game, and the game could have had a better ending, and the Desmond story could have been a little bit better in this game. However, you cannot argue with what we got as far as action sequences for Desmond are concerned, because in previous games we didn't get them on this sort of scale. We didn't get to see Desmond as more of an operative in the field. It was always just fighting to escape in the past, but now we see Desmond in full form, and it was kind of worth it, to be honest. I mean, it was basically Connor combat, and Desmond was reskinned and shit. Yeah, I know, but I did enjoy playing as Desmond and actually doing things besides from being in the Animus, and that little modern day action bit that was in the game was definitely something that I really enjoyed, and I just wish that we could get it in more Assassin's Creed games, maybe with a new protagonist in the modern day, just a new assassin, someone who does stuff in the modern day as well that makes it even cooler. And that's something that I would really look forward to seeing had it been in a future game, and it was something that I really liked about Assassin's Creed 3 and I've always given credit to, because it is definitely something that Assassin's Creed 3 does well. I mean, it could do better, there could have been more sequences, but the sequences we got with Desmond in which he was performing these things like climbing a skyscraper, beating the shit out of some Abstergo employees, or facing off against Daniel Cross, they were okay, they were quite fun. The Daniel Cross bit could have been better, but all in all, the Desmond action sequences were pretty fun. The next point is the hunting in Assassin's Creed 3. Now, if you're sadistic like me, then pleasure doesn't really go much further than running around a forest, firing arrows into bunnies and killing them, then taking their skin and selling it for profit, or just killing whatever you can find, really. And going up to beavers who can barely run, they're helpless, and stabbing them was also quite sad. That part was a joke, but the hunting in Assassin's Creed 3 was a welcome addition to the game and added a bit more depth to the open world. And basically what you could do is you could hunt and sell the skins, or I don't know if you could use them in crafting, I never tried, but I just really enjoyed the hunting. It was a fun little outlet from being an assassin, I guess. I don't fucking know. It was just fun. It was a great thing for me because I really enjoyed it, and I could run around killing rabbits and just at the end seeing how much money I could earn from doing that by just going to a shop and trying to sell my rabbits, my now dead rabbits. Yeah. And finally we have the soundtrack of Assassin's Creed 3. Now the soundtrack for Assassin's Creed 3, in my opinion, was really, really good. I really love listening to the Assassin's Creed 3 main theme and all the little soundtracks that you have, and how fitting they are in the setting that Assassin's Creed 3 is set in, with the bar fight soundtrack being all silly and very setting accurate and adequate and stuff like that. And all in all, the soundtrack just worked with the game very well, and it also set a good atmosphere during combat and things like that. Although my only fault with it would be that there is no ambient soundtrack for when you're just exploring the cities, and the soundtrack only really kicks in combat or in comedic situations in missions or in missions themselves, with a little bit of ambience there. And all in all, the soundtrack, although underused, was very good in itself, especially the main theme. I really like that one. So there you have it. 5 great things in Assassin's Creed 3, at least in my opinion. You may agree with me, you may not. That's completely up to you. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. And if you agree with me, just let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, hit subscribe if you're new. Tell your friends about this channel, share the video amongst everybody and all them clever things. Comment what you think down below. I really look forward to reading the comments. I mean the not cancerous ones. And I will see you all very soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. So yeah.